Good day everyone and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be looking at a fascinating video in the Soviet Tier 10 reward or coal cruiser, the Smolensk. Now, many people accuse this ship of being broken. Many people accuse it of being OP and ruining the meta. Well, my opinion is that it's a very polarizing ship. If you're not so good in this ship, and as it's being offered for coal, there are many people who really don't know what they're doing, and they have this ship, so they just die very easily, thereby skewing our perception of the ship. Then there are people who know what they are doing, and they just sweep the board with it. We've talked about it in a previous video, but just to reiterate, it has an explosive rate of fire, exceedingly high DPM, the second highest DPM in the game after Colbert, and this thing has smoke, so it can easily hide and just farm away. You have torpedoes, you have hydro, really you have everything you need to protect yourself, and a very trolly armor scheme, which means many BBs overpen when they hit you, or many BBs or anything really if it hits your deck, which is 30 millimeters, will actually get out. You have this tiny little 32,000 HP cruiser, and yet you can still get ricochets. So it's rather ridiculous. So here we see I spawn in the west. Now, you notice there's only one DD. Now, when this happens, you can't just press escape and leave the game if there's no DD on your side. You'll have to switch to plan B, which defaults to the lowest detection ship on a flank, has to be first in line. Now, I am playing a full DPM build, so the Minotaur definitely has better concealment than me. You see, I'm trying to convince him to lead the advance. He's going to stay behind me, so I'm going to have to take point, which is a bit risky in Smolensk. On the one hand, if you run into a DD, you're going to kill him real quick. You'll also be open to all the return fire, and you're probably going to get sent back to port quite quickly yourself. So I thought about going on the outside of these islands around G2 and then F1. I really will have no vision at all, so I decided to risk it and go towards the cap. I can see the BBs are still fairly far away. Oh, there's a BB. And I'm just ready to, that's the Yamato, no, the Kurfürst is closer to us, and I'm just ready to turn away or smoke if necessary. I'm detected, two ships shooting, aiming at me, so I immediately start shooting the rudder. I am located, so it seems the enemy DD, which is a daring, is here. So we spot the Goliath. Interesting ship, I haven't played it yet, but it looks interesting. So spotted, and I will have to smoke up here. As all these ships are going to start shooting at me, people tend to like to focus smallies. So the Goliath is shooting away from us, we start slamming our HE into him. And we've reached the end of our smoke, we're nicely covered, and I'm going to start reversing and continue shooting at him. Now, he has fired at us, and just observe, oh my god, he got half our life. I think he fired completely blind. He simply must have held his cursor over where we were and counted down, and got that quite tasty volley, to be honest. This does happen when you're in the Smolensk. Sometimes you misjudge, or sometimes the enemy is just plain lucky. Ever since some smoke firing videos, everybody's trying to blind fire you. So here are some torpedoes. We take some hits. See, they're blind firing us. I've stopped shooting, but they're still just shooting into our smoke. They really want us. Now, I think, oh my god, the Kurfürst rams us just a little bit, but he's going to bravely take two torpedoes, or we're safe from the torpedoes anyway. The main danger is trying to dodge things like torpedoes and airstrikes, and you get blapped by something else. Shells are always the most most reliable way of killing a ship. So we still have a little bit of time in our smoke, and here we actually seem to have joined smokes with the Minotaur. And look at that long smoke duration. So we'll share his smoke. It's very convenient for us. As always, DDs are the first target. He's here, and I can shoot him quite easily, and I'm probably going to hit him for very good damage. So it would be a mistake here to shoot at anything but the daring. Look at those beautiful Soviet ballistics. Just look how fast the guns reload. I squeezed off a couple of more rounds. We've got some decent damage. And here we can just chill and shoot left and right. Now, if that were a Shimakaze or a Gearing or a Somers, I would be a bit more circumspect and just not sit like this. I'd be a bit more careful with regards sitting in this smoke. As it's a Gearing and the torpedoes don't go so far, only 10 kilometers, we're not at such a risk. The Shimakaze will just fire 15 torpedoes into here, and no amount of dodging can save you. Well, those torpedoes are quite close. Now this Kurfürst has pushed up. Probably a secondary Kurfürst. I don't know, I can't tell. Usually Kurfürsts that push up like that are secondary Kurfürsts, and they just want to get some action. The secondary build, while certainly a lot of fun, and it forces you to just push up or to get into danger situations because you're not going to reach 1 in 2 battles at tier 10. Your secondaries really aren't going to help you. So here's Yamato. He's kind of stationary. I find Yamatos are very tasty targets for Smolensk because they just sit in bow tank, which of course is a nightmare. When they're playing in Smolensk, you just pump your shells into their superstructure, get a little bit of damage, but you set them on fire over and over and over again. I mean, just look at this Yamato. He's in a good position. If I wasn't in the game, that would be a pretty strong position. He'd be able to move back and forth. He'd be able to reverse into cover, punish anything that shows itself. But here I can just pump him full of HE and just look at that. I think that's 3 fires burning. Just uses his repair party. It's, I think, a 15 second countdown. A few more hits. You can see there's not so much alpha damage. I've probably already saturated that small piece of superstructure. Yamato does have a small superstructure, so just reliant pretty much on fires. And I think the 15 seconds are up, and we start getting fires again immediately. 1 fire. More shots, not much alpha damage, 500 damage, that's not too much. But he's burning again. By using his repair party, I got him immediately on fire. So Yamato has retreated, and we switch to the next one. This was a very good smoke. You always want to smoke up in a place where the enemy is advancing, not in their face. Your ideal engagement distance is 12 to 15 kilometers, where you can shoot effectively. It's unlikely you're going to be torpedoed, and it's harder for them to blind fire you. If you sit really close, they can get a good fix on where you are and blind fire you. This Yamato is just cruising along, so we're going to just oblige him and pump him full of HE. So there's our first fire. We'll just keep it up. We're already at 100,000 damage. 8 fires. This is just really this HE ability. So more hits, and he's actually not choosing to go on, but he's going to turn towards us, so we just continue moving away. You can see how I keep a very small profile towards him. If he fires, I have time to dodge. Even if he hits us, he might get maybe 1 or 2 penetrations, but that's something we can survive. What you don't want is to be kind of semi-angled and all his shells will arm inside you, hitting you for citadels. He might even get a strike. So see, those shells were aimed at the Yamato. He'd given up shooting at us. So there goes their daring, no DD on their team, no DD on our team. A very old-fashioned kind of cruiser B engagement. So we've already got Witherer. In the first 9 minutes, he's on fire again and again. That's, I think, 3 fires. He's really having a hard time. and he's just given up on trying to hit us as I juked a couple of rounds, a couple of salvos, and he doesn't want to waste his shots. So I think he has just fired at us, but you see our preemptive dodging means just one hit for 3,000 damage, which is pretty much nothing, while he's trying to get away with 3 fires. So he's probably not going to live very long. We have 1, 2, 3 BBs over there. They've all moved to A. I'll see if I can finish this guy, otherwise our BBs will definitely finish him, as they just have. C hasn't been taken. The enemy team is kind of camping B and behind B. So this battle is nowhere near finished. We're still at 400 points, they're at almost 400. So I'm going to push up into the middle and I need to continue dealing damage. There's a Wooster. We crack off some shots. Really, anything you can see within your line of sight, you can shoot at, no matter what it is. You can get damage, get fires on it. I can penetrate almost any part of the Wooster with my IFHE build. Now, there's a Kurfürst. He's giving us a broadside, so we oblige him with as much fire as we can get on him. Not too much alpha damage. Now he has just fired at us, and you see immediately I start turning the moment I see the shots. Don't leave it too late. Kurfürst shells are quite fast, so they will hit you, they will hurt you. And the worst thing is, if you're attempting to dodge and you're caught mid-turn, which means your ship is angled, he's going to get penetrations or citadels. So this was a bit of a premature smoke. I wasn't quite sure that Kurfürst was going to go. I was hoping he was going to go into B. I could safely burn him down. But as it stands, I've kind of wasted this smoke, as there's nothing I can see. The enemy ships don't seem to be willing to move into my range and line of fire. So we'll just chill here for a little. We are slightly ahead in points, 1 ship down though, and we'll just see what happens. I can't force myself on the opponents. I cannot create a play. It's, I think, almost pure tier 10 matchmaking, so if I try and force a play, I'll probably end up being sent to port. You need to be a bit patient with this ship. When you get a target, you will cause extensive damage, so just be patient. There's no rush. The ship is small, you can dodge, you'll have plenty of time for adrenaline-filled dodging of fire. Until then, you can just find safer shots like this Kurfürst. He seems to be moving away from us, but it's no problem. You just aim slightly ahead and you will hit him. Not too much alpha, but against the Kurfürst, especially an angled Kurfürst, you're aiming for fires, not so much the straight alpha. You can see everything is shattering, one shell after another, or a dozen shells after another. So there he is, still no luck. Yet more shatters, shatter. His armor is too hard for us to penetrate. There's nothing we can do at this angle. We just hope for fires. So you just keep on shooting. You've got a very good fire chance. Sooner or later, he's going to catch fire. There's no two ways about it. Now, there's the enemy. Oh, there's another Kurfürst this battle. There, he caught fire almost immediately. Now here, I'm trying to turn a little bit because I can see both the Des Moines and the Moskva. I don't want them to shoot me, especially the Moskva. Her shells are very fast, very hard to dodge. But thankfully our Yamato is able to delete that Moskva, so we once again have freedom of movement in the center. Now I immediately extinguish the fire. I'm not going to use my repair so often. I'm not going to be under a lot of fire, so I can just use it to save some life. Still got 1 repair left. We're quite hale at the moment. So the Worcester is hiding behind the island and he's shooting. So he forgets that we can do the same back at him. The shells have just enough of a plunge of a shellac to get him. So we just hit him a couple of times to show him that he's not completely safe there. Now once again, moving around the center, our Yamato is capping B. It's a very good idea if we can do it safely from behind the island, and now We'll have four BBs, so three BBs in the north. They're slowly converging on B. We've covered some ground, so we're no longer behind in ships. I think we are indeed a ship ahead. And I'm going to move towards the center. Once the enemy is behind, they will eventually have to make a push. Or failing that, they will just push to get farm some more damage, farm some more XP and credits and so on. So you can usually expect a push. It's a very rare case where the enemy won't push or just run for the edge of the map. So there's our Kurfürst again. We start shooting at him. Again, splendid ballistics. Look at that, almost 700 hits. No fires yet, but we'll go keep it up. We're over 200 damage. He's on fire. We'll switch to the other Kurfürst. Once again, as I said, we try and deal mainly fire damage to these angled, well-armored BBs. So once a target has a fire or two, you may as well switch to another target, and down he goes. Just mindlessly spamming rounds that are going to shatter is not going to help your team that much. If an enemy is in a position where you only deal 200 alpha damage, you may as well shoot at something else, get it on fire, and then switch back once the initial target has extinguished fires. So the Kurfürst did get our Yamato, but now we are definitely ahead. Down goes that Kurfürst from our fire damage. Oh, that was a scary salvo from the Zao. I thought that was going to be the end of us. One of the things that can actually hurt a Smolensk quite nicely are enemy cruisers. If you show broadside at any kind of cruiser really uses AP on you, he's going to get penetrations, he's going to get citadels, and he's not going to get those overpens that these are plagued by when shooting at your ship. Hindenburg with its high damage AP and devastating strike as Smolensk quite easily with those 12 guns into your side. It's something I've done, and it's quite impressive. And it's not that difficult as long as the Smolensk is not looking at you. He gives you his broadside. So we start shooting at this Goliath. Now slowly running out of life. I'm definitely not going to show him my broadside because that will get me deleted real quick. So I'm going to kind of boat tank. Now, what am I blathering on about boat tanking in the Smolensk? There are no BBs here, so boat tanking means I'm just going to take some slow, steady damage, and it's a very small profile. So it's what will keep us alive the longest. More and more fire on this Goliath. We're sitting on 260,000 damage. Our last salvo, and I think we really haven't got enough life to survive. We set him on fire one last time, and his last shot finishes us off. So our BBs who went over A around the map are converging now on the BC area. It seems the enemy cruisers chased our BB around the map to sink him, which they succeeded in doing. They allowed us to retake B and really kill anything that was left here. So that wasn't the best thing to do. So we've only got a couple of minutes left. This battle is going to be a victory. It's 4 versus 4, but we are very much ahead in points. So thank you for watching, everyone. Yet another example of how strong Smolensk is. I do believe it is slightly overpowered. Something has to be tweaked. Perhaps the upcoming IFHE nerf will fix it by reducing its deck armor. That remains to be seen. Otherwise, the ship, in my opinion, does need a small nerf, perhaps to its the reload. Reload is just bonkers with such high quality HE spam and very strong AP. If you get a broadside, I've hit ships for 10,000 K without citadels in the side. A Kurfürst at close range, maybe 8 or 10 kilometers, going to take 10,000 damage. You're going to reload and try it again after 3.5 seconds. So the ship is a little bit ridiculous. It's being removed from the armory. I can't say I don't agree with it. Something had to be done with this ship, although I personally think nerf would have been better because now everyone has it. So just making it less available means everyone who really wanted it has already got it or will get it over the next couple of months before it's removed. So these are my thoughts. A very good barrel, I believe, and these really aren't that uncommon scores like this. Um, so the ship, in my opinion, is a little bit on the OP side, especially if you know what you're doing. But the fact that skilled players can get it is what keeps its average down. So let's look at the final score. It's slow sometimes over the last few days. I don't know why it's so slow to show me the after battle report, but it is what it is. So 266,000 damage, 600,000 credits, first place, almost 2.8 K worth of XP. And I'll see you next time. Thank you.